It's time now for our health report, and joining us now is Africa 54 health correspondent Linord Moudou. Linord, the official opening of the Summer Olympic Games is on Friday, and you're going to tell us a little bit about how athletes prepare for the Games.
And that's right, Esther. Athletes are preparing tirelessly for the Olympic Games set to launch in Rio de Janeiro. Oblivious of the hard work and tough training sessions, athletes work with coaches to determine the ideal training plan to reach their peak performance during such high-level competition. Because the Olympics only occur every 4 years, while athletes in many disciplines plan their training years in advance. Some observers say many Olympians are born with physical advantages that help them reach world-class performance. Nevertheless, a high level of trainings are required of all athletes willing to compete at the Olympic Games. Experts agree, while the physical side of training is crucial, the mental side is also important.
As a coach, it's not my first experience, but the Olympic Games is different from anything. It's the creme de la creme. You have to come ready. Athletes have to be in good condition. As a coach, you have to be physically ready to be able to support the stress of the competition at the Olympic level.
Been competing well.
It's more competitive. I want to do well because it will be my first Olympic Games, and I really think I have to put in the maximum so that I can qualify for the people of Benin and the people of the world.
Joining us live via Skype from New York is Cameron Myler. Cameron is a clinical assistant professor at Tisch Institute for Sports Management, Media and Business with New York University and a 4-time U.S. Olympian in luge. Ms. Myler, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So, Ms. Myler, is it true that some people are born with some advantages to become champion, or is everybody a potential Olympian with the right training?
Well, I might say yes to both of those questions. So yes, some athletes may be born with physical characteristics that help them. So for example, Michael Phelps has very long arms and big hands and feet, so it helps him in the pool when he swims. But on the other hand, you can have a lot of talent, and if you don't put in the hours and the work, and I'm talking about day after day and week after week and months and years of an athlete's life, if you don't do all of that physical preparation, then those talents will not get you to the Olympic Games alone.
So tell us about your training. What did it take you to achieve what you did, 4 times Olympian and other things? Tell us about that.
Sure. So I competed in a sport called luge, which is a winter sport where you're on a sled on your back going down an ice track about 80 or 90 miles an hour. I started when I was 11, and I loved it from the very first time that I got on the sled. So I had some talent for it, but I worked really hard. I made the national team when I was 15 and then went on to compete in 4 Olympic Games. But every single one of the 14 years that I competed on the national team, I had a training schedule that I planned with my coach, and sometimes I would have 4 training sessions in a day during the off season to become physically prepared. So it was kind of like having a job, really, because you put so much time and effort and heart into it that it's very consuming.
Now tell us quickly about the combination of the mental and physical preparation, because it takes both, right?
Absolutely, and no matter what the sport. And the Olympics are about sort of mind, body, and spirit, and I think it takes all of those things. So you have to prepare your body physically, you have to sort of mentally plan your training, and you have to put all of your heart into it. So the mental aspect, though, is certainly important in a sport like luge, where there's almost no time to think once you're on the sled.
What is your best advice to athletes and people who are not athletes that want to get into the sport, any sport?
I think, well, first of all, find a sport that you love, because if you want to get to the Olympic Games, it's going to be a lot of hard work, no matter the sport that you choose, whether it's track and field or cycling or some other sport. So you need to love it to be able to sort of sustain the effort along the way, and then be prepared for a lot of hard work.
Indeed, Cameron Myler, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, you're welcome.
And that was Cameron Myler. She is a clinical assistant professor at Tisch Institute for Sports Management, Media and Business with NYU and a 4-time U.S. Olympian.